Hello. Let me see if I got this right. I think we're there. Good morning, friends. I apologize. I had another meeting this morning that ran over, so I'm behind a little bit. So let me just first of all say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you in the virtual neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. Um, Just a pleasure. Just a pleasure and an honor to be with you here this morning. I got my phone with me, so I'm gonna make sure that you all are still out there, and then we're gonna get started. Cool. Yeah, there we go. So I just wanted Felicia sent me some information yesterday about how to make the video better and all of that. And so we're going to be doing that because it's the equipment. A lot of it is about the equipment and the camera that you use and things of that nature. So I'm going to be looking at all of that over the next weeks or so to figure out how we can make everything clearer and we have a microphone here, but the microphone doesn't hook up to this particular desktop that I have. So we're going to be getting everything, cleaned up and fixed and all of that here in the very near future. So first of all, take a deep breath, everybody. Take a deep breath. Oh, do it again. Close your eyes if you want, but take a deep breath in and blow out again. Another deep breath in and blow out. Another deep breath in and blow out. And if you want to, take your arms back and just not to hurt yourself, but just to kind of rotate them around so you open up the tension in your, I see my shirt is doing a weird thing here. Um, all of that, okay? And that's because right now in the state of California, we are experiencing fires that are creating stress for a lot of people. I know yesterday I was completely stressed out because I have cousins that live in the LA area and I wanted to know that they were safe and I was hounding them and I wasn't getting any response. And so I was getting extremely nervous. One of them had put on Instagram a photograph of the fire, and I was just like, oh my God, he's so close to it. So they are safe. From what I'm told by family members as well as one of them. But for all the families and people that live in the LA County area, in any part of that area where even if your house isn't burning down, you are frightened. The air is, I hear the air is just toxic and awful due to the smoke and then the things that are burning. It's just awful. So I don't know, everybody that watches Life is a Sacred Journey may not be people that pray, and you may not be. But at the end of the day, I think this is a time where we do need to stop and take a moment and think about those individuals that are living in that condition and lift a prayer up for them or a meditation up for them or just have a moment of silence, sending them good thoughts and sending them courage. It is going to be an incredible cleanup once they get to the point where they are doing the cleanup. And so we do want to let them know that we're supporting them from wherever we are. So just take a moment in your day, take more than one moment if you have it, but take time to think about how it must feel. I heard somebody I was talking to my daughter-in-law yesterday afternoon, and she was telling me that some people were saying, "Oh, the people whose houses are burning down, most of them, it's a very wealthy area. They have the money, they can rebuild, and then." But at the end of the day, they've lost things that are important to them. You may not agree with their lifestyle. You may not, they may have money to repair or rebuild, but that's not the way we should go into the world, judging other people in that way. Yeah, pain is pain, grief is grief, loss is loss. And regardless of where you are in the spectrum of that as it relates to finances, that doesn't mean those people don't have emotions and feelings. So I don't think people who follow life is a sacred journey are people that are saying those kinds of things or living into those kinds of things. But let's be kinder than that. Let's be kinder than that. And because I think it's important for us to just be kind when we're thinking about. I know if I lost everything right now, I would be. I don't know what I would do if I lost all my stuff right now. And I don't even care about some of it because it's in boxes somewhere, but it's mine. And the loss of it would create a big hole in my heart. So let's think about those individuals and not become the naysayers and the angry people. Some people have money. That's just the way it is. I'm not one of them. I have money, but not that kind of money. And that's just the way it is. And you can't be upset with people when they have a little bit more than you. We all have an obligation anyway to serve. Yesterday, I had the opportunity uh, to spend some time watching during my granddaughter's nap the Jimmy Carter funeral. And man, I'm telling you, I don't care whether you believe in Jesus Christ or not. I do. So I hope you do, but a lot of people I know don't. And at the end of the day, he was a follower of Christ. And the way that he lived his life is a testimony to a belief and a faith that is so strong and magnificent that, to see that outpouring of love and respect from grandchildren, great grandchildren, family members, community at large, just people loving Jimmy Carter and missing him, grieving him, and but speaking of his life, and that's what made me. I just was sitting there going, yeah, man, that's what it's all about for me. I hope that when I die, that people will say, yes, Micheal was served the community, served other people, loved people, that didn't judge people, and really made a difference in the world. It doesn't matter. All of this stuff that we argue about and divides us doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's what is your legacy? How do you want your legacy and your life to be seen on the planet? You know, do you want to be the person that does harm? Sometimes inadvertently, I'm sorry, my eyes are itching for some reason. Um, Inadvertently, we do harm because there are people who have told me, Micheal, when you said this, that harmed me. And I've had to apologize even when I didn't understand why they were harmed. Like I didn't, it wasn't my intention to harm them, but I didn't quite understand where they were getting that emotion from, but I apologized anyway because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I've learned over the last 2 years being a part of a group within my church that how I feel about things sometimes doesn't matter. It's about rising above my emotions and my feelings and just letting it go. Just passing it over and keeping calm and trusting in the divine to get me through those moments because I'm there for a purpose. And that the distraction of people telling me I'm too bold, I hurt their feelings and all of that is just that, a distraction. It doesn't mean that it's not legitimate. as it relates to the other person. So I do have an obligation to say I'm sorry, but I have to also be able to say it's time to move on, to a different level of communication where we're not always working from our emotions. And I'm the worst at it. I'm learning to do it better and better every day, where I'm guided by my heart, which is clear and has clarity and is aligned with a bigger purpose, and letting the emotional piece of who I am rest, and so that I don't get angry, that if I do get angry, that anger is translated into visioning and aligning myself with a purpose. That, okay, I'm angry about the fact that there's homeless people. Well, okay, Micheal, it's not enough to be angry. What you gonna do about it? I'm angry that there are young women that are being abused, and how do I help? Move it into action. And it's sort of like, in the Bible it says faith without action. You've got to have action. You've got to go do something, and you have to speak up in those spaces where you can promote change, and where you can promote, or open someone else's eyes, to something, always in love. Always in love. Sometimes love, as a parent, I learned this. Sometimes love is being a disciplinarian. Sometimes love is clarifying. Sometimes love is being quiet and silent. Love takes on many, many forms when you are, a leader, or when you're, navigating this incredibly crazy world. So to all of our friends and siblings and cousins and family members in the Los Angeles area, you are on our mind. You are on our hearts. And if you can, I'm not sure I will be able to, but I'm going to put it, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to figure out a way to get down there when the time comes, to help with rebuilding in some way. Some way. I don't know if it's helping with cleanup. I don't know if it's down there, helping. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to figure it out and go to the LA area and figure out a way to um, support those families and friends and people, that live down there that have been impacted by this. I called it an inferno the other day because that's what it looked like to me. A fire, reminds me, when I say, "Oh, I'm going to start a fire," it's my fireplace. But an inferno that is destructive and moving. I was watching it just moving, and the way that it was moving and the wind that was blowing it, my heart went out to those folks that were down there. So, and the first responders and their families. And I heard this morning, and this is my last on this. I heard this morning, um, that there were people who, even though they were told to evacuate, they did not, and made it so that first responders had to put their life on the line to go and get them out of wherever they were once the fire was at a point where it was just too much, right? If you get the order to evacuate, whether it for whatever reason, you need to know it's not an inconvenience. You got to get up out of there if you want to live. And at the end of the day, I don't care what I own, what I have, other than I'm grabbing Daisy, my dog, my daughter, my family. I'm like, here's our meetup point. I'm getting the heck out of Dodge, because I don't want to endanger somebody else. And then at the point where you're frantic about it, and everybody's frantic about it, it's harder to evacuate an area. So I invite you to go to the, FEMA website and figure out what needs to be in your evacuation bag, that you prepare an evacuation bag that's near an exit, so that if you do have to evacuate your home, you have medications, a couple of some water, some of the things that you need. Mine has a roll of toilet paper in it because I need it. It has some of my medications in it. And make sure you go in it and revise it every once in a while. So I'm going to actually look on my phone and I'm going to tell you all the things that should be in your evacuation kit. This is important. So go get yourself a pencil or a pen, whichever you prefer. And let's talk about evacuation kits for a minute because I realized mine, I have one, but I went into it the other day and when this all started and I realized there were some things that had expired. Like I had some bars, uh, protein bars in there and they were no good. So um I want to make sure that I go over this list for you. Okay? So you need a battery pack powered radio. I actually have in my kit one of the ones that you crank, believe it or not. I tested it, it still works. Water, there is a gallon of water in there that I'm not sure if I should move that out, but it's a gallon per person per day. Okay, a gallon per person per day. Water purification tablets, you can get all of this at a camping store, Big Five, or any of those places. A first aid kit with a manual on what to do for a fracture, twisted ankle, that kind of thing. A utility knife, I do have a utility, it's actually a hunting knife, a pretty big, nice one. Sleeping bags and blankets, wool and thermal. And I have the little wool one, so I folded them up. They're really tight and put a rubber band around them, and then they're in one of those big 5 gallon I think it's 5 gallons. I think it is plastic bag, and then that's compressed down, and it's in. The like I said, my kit's pretty big, but it's backpackable. Like I can carry it. It may be a little heavy, but I can carry it. A manual can opener, excuse me, waterproof and windproof matches. Again, go to the camping store. All this stuff is there, and you don't have to buy it all in one time. Put it on your list. Put it on your Christmas list, your birthday list. These are things that are really important. If you wear eyeglasses, prescription glasses, you want an extra pair or some contact lenses. You want a flashlight, and I have one that does the hazard blinking. It actually has a siren on it, so you don't have to go that big deal. But that's what I did because that's what I did. Any non-perishable foods. I didn't go that route. I used protein bars and things of that nature. But then I learned the other day that, if you can carry it, that's the thing. You want something you can carry. They have food that's freeze dried, that all you have to do is pour hot water on it. So whatever, I was thinking I'm going to put some packets of broth in it because that would at least get my belly full. Essential medications, any extra clothing, I say leggings and sweatshirt. Underwear, if you want to put a couple of pair in there, but you want stuff that you can roll up and make small to fit in that backpack. Any emergency battery operating candles or light sticks, I have those ones that the kids play with. Got a bunch of them in there. They say ready to eat goods in unbreakable containers. Peanut butter, I'm telling you, will last for a really long time. Um, but it is a really good thing to keep your belly full when if you should be out on the road for a minute. Canned or stay fresh pouch meats, dehydrated fruits and vegetables, powdered milk, juice. If you have an infant, you want a backpack for your infant with all their care needs, crackers, peanut butter. They say you might want a plastic bucket with a tightly fitted lid. I actually have it in my car, a urinal thingy that you can go to the bathroom in, and it has some kind of powdery stuff in it, and it's small. But because I travel and drive in areas that are remote, I have that in my car just in case. Okay. Um, you want any kind of aluminum foil, plastic bag with ties, any disinfectant stuff that might clean up an area that for a while, paper towels, any toilet seat covers if you want. I know I have a little package one that I take when I travel in case that when the airports I've gone into the bathroom and there haven't been seat covers. Personal hygiene needs, paper cups, plates. I have the old metal plate bowl cup that like the Girl Scout thing. Like I have that, and I have uh my own fork and knife that are just just enough to eat. Personal toiletries, any soap, pen, paper, work gloves are important. Get some work gloves and put them in there because if something, a tree should fall or something, you don't want to grab it with your hand, and plastic gloves are not going to last. A nice pair of work gloves that you're going to be able to use your physical force to move things, push doors, whatever. It says here money. I don't have money. Um, but it's a good idea. I probably did it one time and then I went and used it. Aspirin, rubbing alcohol, diarrhea medication, Pepto-Bismol, they say. Uh, the first aid kit will have all the gauze and all of that. And then anything that you might need that are papers that you may vacation property ownership stuff you may want to grab that and put a copy of it in a plastic. I always put stuff in plastic bags so that if water gets on stuff that they will be safe. And then my dog has her own backpack, and she also has a little pop-up tent of her own that I can zip her in the tent. She's safe, and I don't have to worry about losing her extra leash that she has there. She has her own little blanket, so that, and then there's food in there, so in her bag, and then a toy because I wanted her to be comfortable if we had to vacate. So an evacuation kit is very, very important. It's for an emergency. It's like the insurance, that the health insurance or the car insurance. It's for an emergency when you need it. And so please don't wait until you need it in order to. I'm blushing this morning. That's interesting. I don't know why I am. That's kind of cute. You want to be able to make sure that you're ready. You're not going to remember everything, but if you get your kit together ahead of time, you're going to feel a little bit more at ease. Even if you have to go and vacate to somebody's house, you'll have some of your stuff with you that is important. Any important jewelry? I wear my jewelry. I don't buy jewelry that I don't wear. So that's not as important to me, but it may be to somebody else. Okay, so don't forget, get your evacuation kit together if you don't already. Have it by an exit where where you can grab it quick so that you don't have to remember where did I put it. And if you have an animal or a child, make sure they have a bag as well. And then always make sure that your car, this is one thing that my dad taught me. I never let my car get on E. I always go and fill it up. Like especially if I'm going to stay at home for a period of time. On the way home, I'll fill it up just to make sure that my car tank is on full or close to full. Um, so if I have to get up and leave to go somewhere, I don't have to look for a gas station. I don't have to figure out if I have enough money for gas. I'm ready to get the heck out of Dodge. And that's where the maintenance of your vehicle is so important. This morning I noticed something and I was just like, okay, and I left early, but I still noticed it. I'm like, okay, is that condensation? What is that? So I will have my car looked at this weekend to figure out, is it leaking something that I need to know about, other than water? Because, when you turn the air conditioning, and not the air conditioning, the heat on, it leaves water and stuff. But I wasn't sure, so and I didn't have time to go down there and touch it to see what it was. So take care of your vehicle so that it can be, because it'll be your chariot out of wherever you are. I saw a man on Instagram riding a bicycle away from the fires because his car had already blown up. um, I thought about that too. I was like, so that's where if you don't have a bicycle, you need really good hiking boots or a really good pair of sneakers, that you can walk on debris without it going through the bottom of your sneaker and hurting and harming the bottom of your feet. So the evacuation is preparation happens before the need. It doesn't happen when the need is in effect. So get your evacuation kit together now. Those of us in the Bay Area, fires, we're not immune to them. We've had our challenges up here in Northern California, and then we have earthquakes and things. Just let's get prepared. And it's not if it happens, it's when it's going to happen. That's the thing. The year my son got married, we got evacuated from the reception. Never got to have my dance with my kid. Never got to speak. I wrote a beautiful. I never got. Actually, I should share it with him. I never got to recite it because the after they finished their dance, I don't even think we ate. Did we eat? I can't remember now. We may have. We may have eaten. We may have eaten. And then they were doing their dance. And then right after the DJ started playing the music Fire, and the fire marshal came in with all of the, not fire marshal, but the fire person came in with all of their stuff, and we were back on the road going home. We got evacuated from the area of the home we rented. And yeah, so we got money back and all of that. But so you just never know when it's gonna happen. You just have to prepare, because it will happen. And that is another thing that my dad taught us when we were little, that things are going to happen. And you may think that they won't, but they will, and at some point. And you can only be so prepared, but you want to be as prepared as you possibly can. All right. So now what I want to switch a little bit and talk about something that has become near and dear to me, that I've been thinking a lot about, over the last, I was just looking to see what you all were saying, um, over the last, I guess, man, months, and more so now since the holiday season is over. And that's the word hope, hope, and remaining steadfast in your hope and what you know to be true for you, because we all have different truths and beliefs. And I realize that sometimes we get caught up in the drama of the world, the drama of the world, and I do it. Um, my value is sometimes wrapped up. Like yesterday, I was driving, and out of the parking lot of Trader Joe's, and this woman was crossing coming out of the store in the walkway, and I stopped, and all the cars stopped behind me. But yet the look that she gave me, and I thought to myself, I am almost 6 feet away from you. Why are you looking at me like that? But I shouldn't have thought that. It shouldn't have mattered. I should have been okay with what I know I had done and what my intent was, but we have been so destroyed inside that we react to things always from the negative. I don't know that lady from a can of paint. Does it really matter that that glaring look that she gave to me, which I perceived as she thought that I was going to hit her, which my car was in a full stop, right? The light might have bothered her. I don't even know what it was. But why did I care? You know, what is that? That happens to us. And I'm gonna get better at it because I went home and wrote about it and I'm gonna, why did I even care? And I drove afterwards. I was driving up the street and I was like, "Frabba frabba, frabba frabba." I'm not gonna tell you what I said because they won't let this video go through. But I was PO'd at the way she looked at me. I was like, and then I thought later on after meditation and whatever and wrote in my journal, why did you even care? You didn't hear what she said because I was in my car listening to actually megahertz sounds to help me get centered. So I wasn't there yet. So, but at the end of the day, friends, I think we need to get to a space where stuff can't bother us like that. That, the little duck, they say let it roll off your back like the water that beads up on a duck, which makes them able to be buoyant. But I don't know why we do. We're just human, right? We're just human. But I'm going to work on it because I want to be better than that. I want to be better than that. And she might not even have been talking about me. She might not even have cared enough about me, but it bothered me, right? So we have to look at ourselves when those things are happening and pull ourselves away from it so that we're not tied up in this great in all the time. So that's one thing that I've been pondering. The other thing is taking time before you run out of time. I realized and am realizing over the last 6 months, is it 6 months? Almost 6 months, that being busy and having an active life is important to your aging process, to live a full and vibrant life. Jimmy Carter lived a full and vibrant life, very active until almost 2 or 3 years ago. So he was 100. So that means 98 years old is when he went into hospice. And that's when things, his body was beginning to shut down. Mind still sharp from what they said. Okay. But being with family, engaging, doing what your good service, Nancy, I know you're going to be proud of me. Doing your good service and all of those things means nothing if you don't make time for family and friends. Family and friends. Family and friends. And when I say friends, I mean friends, right? People who love you regardless of when you're being poopy and all of that kind of stuff. Friends, your die, like I say, my road dogs, my do or dies, friends. And then your family, building relationships, mending relationships, um, being with them no matter what, taking that time to spend that energy, to exert that energy of love and compassion and listening to their stories and taking time for that. That's what gives you a long life. Jimmy Carter, yesterday, I realized when I was listening, his grandchildren adore him. His children adored him. He spent time with them, even though he was a president and was away some of the time. And they spoke to that as well. Our lives are on borrow. This is not like, you know, we're going to live forever. We live forever in the hearts of the people who love us. And as long as the stories are continually told and passed on, we will live forever. But if you don't take the time to be in friendship and do all those things, they can't do that. There's nothing to share. Nothing to share. So love your friends, love your family, spend time with them, listen to them, be quiet with them, hold their hands, hug them, and live your life like today is the last day that you have, because it just might be. And that's not a morbid thing, that's just reality. I pray I live, you guys know, I want to live to be 100 myself. But I don't know that that's going to happen. And so always saying I love you. I've been saying I love you when I leave my children's presence for all of their lives, so that when they think about it, if that should be the last moment they see me, they can say, my mom said she loved me. That's the last thing she said to me, right? Not, would you go do this and right? So say I love you to somebody this morning. Get on your cell phone, type it out, send it in a text. Tell somebody that you haven't told in a really long time, I love you. And they don't have to answer you back. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You do you and be the best you that you can be. And if you are someone out there that is feeling sad today, you know, fighting back some tears, feeling some grief, and it's so heavy that you think you need help, please call the Grief Suicide Hotline. It is 988. 988 is the number that you should call. I don't even know. Somebody told me we're not supposed to say the word, that word. So SUICIDE. If you feel like taking your life, maybe that's the way we should say it. There's so many rules, and they will pull stuff if you don't do it right. But if you feel that your life has no value and that you think that you should take it and not live another day, please call 988. There are people on the other line. You can text them as well, that will be there to support you and get you through this moment, this time, and they will find resources for you wherever you live. They have that capability. They are angels. So don't go through this alone. Okay, friends, I think we have a guest next week. You'll know more about that as the week goes on. I ask you please to hit the share button and share Life is a Sacred Journey with other people. Write in the comments so that we know how you feel and how our content is impacting or helping you in your life. And I just want to thank you. I thank you so much for showing up every Friday, and thank you, Felicia, for everything you do. I love you. And yeah, have a good rest of the week. Have a great weekend. Um, and again, let's do something for our friends, our siblings, our strangers that we don't even know them down in Southern California, but they need our support and help. I know there's GoFundMe accounts, there's all kinds of things going on to help and support them. All right, friends, have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourself, hug yourself. Don't forget to tell somebody you love them. And yeah, let's vision a different world in 2025. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, but together we can do some good stuff. All right? Take care of yourselves. Peace.